Rick, I want to go right to you on this because we're seeing it very coordinated now. I mean, it seems even more coordinated than it was really when we heard about Harris getting the nomination. Now that it's all being, we saw the coordinated Obama call this morning with Michelle. And I mean, we know that Barack Obama didn't do much for Joe Biden. You were kind of imagining now, does he hit the trail again for Kamala Harris and really shake the race up a bit and make it a different race than we were in when we were both in Milwaukee at the Republican convention?
Look, I think that they have to be very careful. They're already in we're overhyping a personality phase. And Donald Trump is doing a fantastic job of calling her a San Francisco radical and giving the whole list of who she is. When Obama when President Obama and Michelle Obama come out and they start doing too much of the personality-driven thing, I think it's going to backfire on them. We're already kind of sick of it, and we're seeing it, and that's all they do. They're not talking about policies. They're talking about, our friend,
just our best friend.
Yeah.
It is an interesting time, and I've been saying on this show, too, where what's interesting about a race against Vice President Harris is you actually have a pretty good record to run against and say, unlike a candidate where you may have to go more personal on the attack, you don't have to in this one. We can just say, here's what she stood for, here's what she's done, here's why it's horrible.
But you'll notice what she did, which I thought was unbelievable. She started running on her California record. When I was the Attorney General, this is what I did. And
Forget
I was
about the last one.
I was like, girl, that's not what you need to be doing.
Yeah. People don't love it there.
You need to be talking about, how you somehow were a moderate or you did something. But, borders are Kamala Harris. She's not really
she never
embracing.
was. I mean, that was one of the craziest liberal moments of rewriting history when they said, we never said she was the border czar. And you got every network, both sides, everybody from really respected kind of in the middle to the left, to the right, everybody calling her that, her embracing that, and then it wasn't official. It wasn't an official job that she had. She also didn't do much. We didn't think she was doing much with foreign policy until yesterday, Rick, when she decided to come out after a pretty short meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu, after Biden had a very long meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu, and she started, with the niceties about Israel, which, again, I think she's just feels like as a U.S. politician you have to say. But then she slammed Israel in a way that we haven't seen any other American politicians do it. Even Joe Biden hasn't been so direct, maybe. Can we play it for everybody? Let's play it.
So to everyone who has been calling for a ceasefire, and to everyone who yearns for peace, I see you and I hear you. Let's get the deal done so we can get a ceasefire to end the war. Let's bring the hostages home, and let's provide much-needed relief to the Palestinian people. And ultimately, I remain committed to a path forward that can lead to a two-state solution. And I know right now it is hard to conceive of that prospect, but a two-state solution is the only path that ensures Israel remains a secure Jewish and democratic state, and one that ensures Palestinians can finally realize the freedom, security, and prosperity that they rightly deserve.
She's reading every line, and it's been scripted for her by Jake Sullivan. She literally cannot. Look, it's a low bar. I'm glad that she actually knows that she's talking about Israel as opposed to North Korea and South Korea that she keeps confusing. This is an incredibly low bar. No one is going to believe that she can bring the two sides together. God, it is pathetic how weak she is. I'd like to see her first interview without a teleprompter talking about the Middle East or Latin America or Iran. Let's give her a little test. And the media need to do their job. Yeah. Let's see it.
I mean, people are going to say, is there going to be a debate? We don't know. I think it throws all of that off, and that's going to have to be renegotiated now between the campaigns because this is a new campaign. But like you said, it shouldn't have to wait to a debate. If you're fair media, if you're going to do your Lester Holt interview, if you're going to do these interviews, you should get questions about that. I mean, these are the issues, Rick, she has to deal with if she becomes president on day one. She actually should be dealing with them right now, too, as vice president to a president who is not able to really carry out the job. So she should be able to easily answer these questions. She's getting the best info of everybody who's running.
in front of a world leader, you can't have a script where you're just literally reading what's in front of you. It looks really inauthentic. It looks weak. I want to see her off script. I want to see what she can do just simply by talking about the issues. Does she even know what she's talking about? Yeah. I don't know.
When the bar, though, like you said, is so low, and there are Democrats who are just excited that she's not going to call Zelensky Putin. I mean, legitimately, like, that's the breath of fresh air they were looking for. Yeah. When you see the response, people are like, wow, people are really excited. I'm like, they're just excited that they're not going to be completely embarrassed just by those kind of things. Yeah. And now, of course, you can look at the record, you can look at what she's actually saying, go, I completely disagree with this entirely. However, we know she's not, when the Zelensky Putin thing happened, in that moment I go, that was it. That was it. And then, of course, he referred to her as Vice President Trump. When those moments happened back to back within an hour.
Lloyd Austin, the black man.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was just.
He forgot his secretary of defense.
It was spiraling.
Talking about while war's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it was spiraling.
And there was no wars and no Americans died. Lots of things he said have been wrong. We saw it at the debate. We've seen it even in the BET taped interview. But now she's got to do it. And though it's a low bar, I mean, she has not been particularly. She was not the Kamala Harris I saw before she was vice president. I saw her a little bit during the impeachment because we were on the floor of the Senate. You're in California, where she definitely put forward a much tougher demeanor. I mean, she won statewide races in California, and that's not an easy thing to do, even inside the party. But then got to this Biden White House and started spiraling. So the question is, does she continue to spiral, or is there another Kamala Harris that comes out because she no longer has to deal with this Biden team? I think that's what Republicans are kind of worried about, maybe a little bit, because she obviously made it to the highest level of politics still.
But let me assure you, as a Californian, she has never been vetted, ever. We have a system, remember, in California that one party controls everything. The LA Times, Sacramento Beat, no one vets her. What happens in Democratic politics is the straight white guy at the top, Gavin Newsom, hands out little things to each different group. And all the groups are waiting for crumbs to say, when is it the Asians' turn? When is it the gay guy's turn? When is it the Hispanic turn? And she got it on a DEI appointment. I'm sorry. This is the fact that she was able to run because it was her turn, and she was not vetted. This is why she always goes back and talks about the California days, and she acts like, everything was going great when she was Attorney General. It was just a march to the radical left. When she went to Washington as a senator, she got roughed up a little bit. They called her the most liberal senator. She didn't like that. Right. And then suddenly, as VP, she collapsed. So she hasn't been vetted. Yeah, I encourage you to support the work of the ACLJ. I mean, Logan, we've got a filing next week. It's the most important filing we've ever done for Israel. It's at the ICC. The ICC already agreed to accept our brief, so we're not asking them to accept it. We've done a lot of work there, so they said, yes, you can file on Israel's behalf as this amicus brief. So we're going to be doing that because they want to arrest Prime Minister Netanyahu, put him in jail in The Hague. So we'll be filing that. We need your support at aclj.org.
Yeah, I mean, when you see our national monument spray painted with Hamas is coming, we need to be there and we need to be supporting.
The U.S. isn't doing it.
No, go to aclj.org.